You lost the mutual friend who suddenly didn't return your calls. You lost the colleague who used to check in and now looks past you in the hallway. You lost the family member who told you, gently but firmly, that they thought you'd been unfair, that you'd hurt someone who really cared about you, that maybe you should reach out and apologize. The relationship was over, but somehow, the damage kept spreading into your social circle, into your professional life, into spaces you thought were yours and were supposed to be safe. You wondered if you were imagining it. You wondered if they were right, if you had been the problem. You wondered how one person, someone you'd left, could have so much reach into corners of your life they were never supposed to touch. What happened to you has a name. It's borrowed from a children's film about a witch who sent out creatures to do her bidding because someone, at some point, decided that was the most accurate metaphor available. They're called flying monkeys, and the person who deployed them was never operating alone. Flying monkeys are third parties, friends, family members, mutual acquaintances, colleagues, who are recruited, consciously or otherwise, to carry out a narcissist's agenda after a relationship ends or during a conflict. The term comes from the Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch's enforcers sent to do what she could not or would not do herself. They're not the villain of the story, but they're doing the villain's work. Flying monkeys serve several functions in a narcissist's post-breakup or mid-conflict strategy. Surveillance. They report back on your behavior, your social life, your emotional state. The narcissist who no longer has direct access to you maintains indirect access through people who do. Harassment and pressure. They deliver messages, apply pressure, attempt reconciliation on the narcissist's behalf. Sometimes this is explicit. They're carrying a request to reconnect. More often it's subtler. They express concern for the narcissist, report that they're suffering, suggest that you're being needlessly cruel by maintaining distance. Reputation management. They spread the narcissist's version of events through your shared social world. They may not even realize they're doing this. They simply repeat what they were told in a concerned and sympathetic tone to anyone who asks or anyone who might matter to you. Validation extraction. The narcissist, who requires an external supply of attention and validation, uses flying monkeys to maintain a flow of information about your reactions. Knowing that you are angry, hurt, or affected is itself a form of narcissistic supply. Knowing you are doing well, moving on, or indifferent is threatening and will often trigger an escalation. The crucial thing to understand about flying monkeys is that many of them do not know they are flying monkeys. They believe they are acting out of genuine concern. They believe the story they were told. They are not, in most cases, malicious people. They are people who were given a compelling, sympathetic narrative and responded with normal human empathy. The narcissist is not manipulating them to do something evil. The narcissist is giving them a version of events that makes normal, caring behavior serve a manipulative purpose. The recruitment of flying monkeys begins long before the relationship ends. Narcissists spend a significant portion of their relationships laying groundwork. Part of that groundwork is strategic, usually unconscious but sometimes deliberate. Impression management in shared social spaces. They cultivate the image of the devoted partner, the concerned friend, the person who is simply trying so hard despite difficult circumstances. They share just enough, in exactly the right tone, to prime the people around them. I worry about them. They've been under so much stress lately. We've been having a rough patch. I just want them to be okay. I don't want to say too much, but I've been really scared for them recently. None of these statements are obviously manipulative. They read as caring, as generous, as the words of someone invested in another person's well-being. But they are laying a foundation. When the relationship ends and the narrative rolls out, the audience is already primed. The narrative itself follows a consistent architecture. The narcissist is the person who loved deeply and was rejected, abandoned, or mistreated by someone who couldn't handle real intimacy. They gave everything. They asked for so little. They tried. And the other person, for reasons that remain somewhat mysterious and possibly speak to deep emotional wounds, walked away. This narrative has enormous appeal because it is psychologically legible. We all know the archetype of the devoted lover wounded by abandonment. It generates sympathy reflexively. It positions the listener as a compassionate support figure rather than a potential enabler of manipulation. And it leaves the target of the story, you, in a position that is nearly impossible to defend. How do you counter, "they loved you and you hurt them," without sounding defensive, cold, or like you're attacking someone who's already publicly hurting? You largely can't, which is, of course, the point. Flying monkey behavior follows several recognizable patterns. The concerned messenger. This is the most common form. A mutual acquaintance contacts you, sincerely worried, to relay that the narcissist is struggling. They're not well. They've been asking about you. They just want to know you're okay. This message is designed to re-establish contact, to break the no contact that is the narcissist's greatest threat, while giving you a reason to respond that feels like basic human decency. The guilt delivery system. The flying monkey doesn't pressure you directly. They simply share information. They've been crying every day. I've never seen them like this. I think they really regret what happened. You are not being asked to do anything, but the information is designed to activate your guilt, your empathy, your sense of responsibility for another person's pain, and to translate that activation into contact. The reputation reporter. This type tells you, in a concerned and confidential tone, about what's being said about you. I wanted to let you know what people are saying. I don't believe it, but you should know. They position themselves as allies while delivering the narcissist's reputational attack directly into your awareness. The message lands whether you believe it or not. You now know what's being said. You are now thinking about it. The ambassador. This type arrives explicitly to negotiate. They've spoken to the narcissist. They think both of you said things you regret. They believe there's a path back. They're not taking sides. They just think it's a shame for two people who cared about each other to lose everything over a misunderstanding. What all of these patterns have in common is that they appear to come from the flying monkey, not from the narcissist. They have the look of organic social concern. They are not. What flying monkeys do to the person they're deployed against goes beyond the immediate disruption. The first thing they create is self-doubt. When multiple people, independently or apparently independently, are expressing concern, sharing the same narrative, applying the same gentle pressure, it is almost impossible not to wonder if they are right. If all these people see something in you that you don't see in yourself, the coordinated nature of the campaign is invisible from the inside. It looks like consensus, and consensus in human social cognition is very hard to dismiss.